See, trauma isn't tradition. Hmm? For the fact that you were traumatized or you are traumatized doesn't mean that you should pass it on to your next generation or pass it on to your children. So I think I've made a couple of videos about we healing from trauma before we do certain things like settling down or having children and all that, right? But this has been coming up again, right? A lot of people don't do the healing before they move on. And then this affects us in a way that hurt people have a tendency of hurting people unconsciously or consciously. So you happen to settle down with so much trauma and give birth to a child, and you act in a certain way towards the child, and you practically tell this child that I did this during my own time. This was what they did to me. During my own time, I went through this particular process before this thing happened. I went through it before I became this. You are still traumatized from it though. You know that is not right. If you had the chance, you wouldn't let yourself go through that which you went through. But yet, you are passing it on to your children. You're doing the same thing to them. Even when you know it's wrong, even when you know that it's hurting, but you're doing the same thing to them. You want them to go through the same process. You want them to go through the same suffering that you went through. You want them to go through every bit of pain that you went through. If you were a first child and you carried a certain level of responsibility on you, which you know, weighed you down, and you're still struggling with the amount of trauma this must have cost you, yet you're telling your child to go through the same thing, even when you have the opportunity to ease it up on them. So I don't get how we are now making trauma a tradition, like something to pass on to the next generation, something to make your own children go through it, or make your own husband experience it, or something. You are hurt from whatever happened between you and your father. You're hurt from whatever happened between your mother and your father. And then you don't see it fit that you should work on healing before you eventually settle down. That is marriage, right? You eventually marry. But then you carry this bunch of garbage, right, to take to this person's house and to expect this person to love you, to be there, to be a husband, a good husband, with every atom of toxicity that you are portraying to this person, right? And if we touch you small, you say that you know how, you knew where I'm coming from, you know this. We use that as an excuse. We use the trauma as an excuse for the bullshit that we do, right? So I know that there's a level to healing, right, that you can heal and you can be able to move on. I know that there are certain kind of healing again that you can't heal completely for the rest of your life. Like you have to go through the healing process every day. But are you putting the effort in healing, or are you accepting this trauma to be a part of you and you are passing it on to the next person with so much pride? Right, you are a toxic person to the people around you, and you are doing it with pride because of what you think you went through, or because of the scars that you have, or because of whatever it is that you've refused to heal from or have not allowed yourself to heal from. So trust me, yeah, there are people that they hold onto their trauma just because they feel like is a badge that they should hold and tell it to people. I went through this, is who I no, it's not right. Every kind of trauma we're supposed to try to heal from. As I said, hurt people have a huge tendency of hurting people, unconsciously or consciously. Do not pass it on to the next generation. Because you're traumatized shouldn't mean that you should make it a culture or a tradition that other people around you should be traumatized because you were traumatized, or because you are traumatized, or because you went through certain things that you know were wrong or are still wrong, but you are willingly doing it because I went through it, you should go through it. That doesn't make it right. We have to adjust. If it's your mind, adjust your mind. If you need prayer, adjust it. I have a couple of traumas that I am trying to heal from on a daily, but I've not acted this is who I am and blah 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 blah. No, we all have certain traumas we're trying to heal from, but are you trying to heal from them? Are you trying to let go, or are you just rubbing it on people's faces and accepting that with pride you're traumatized, so everybody else will find it difficult around you? See guys, Forgive me that I spoke plenty, right? But I don't like the fact that a lot of things are happening and so many people are refusing to own up to their shit. I don't like it. I don't like it. But we can do better, and we should do better. I'm trying to do better. Me that is talking, don't like I'm a saint. I'm trying to do better in whatever it is that have traumatized me or is traumatizing me. I'm trying to do better. I've healed from some, and I am still healing from some. And I do not want to pass it to my children. I do not want to pass it to anybody. I want it to stop with me. But the pride that you're carrying, that it has to go on, I just don't get it. Well, as we say, we'll all be fine, last. But will the people around you actually be fine? Will they be fine? Bye, guys.